Booster. Go. Retro. Go. Vital.
We're go flying.
Guidance. Guidance, go. Launch control, this is Houston. We are go for launch.
I feel the need for speed.
You've got to ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Join us or die.
And welcome to Mark Groupie Outdoors, the podcast. And this is the official first Drunk Hunters podcast. We're here with a bottle of, let's see, what do we have here? We have a bottle of Rough Rider, and I'm here with TJ Downs, who has generously supplied the Rough Rider. And we're up here on a pig hunting, turkey scouting mission. First, we need to plug our social media. Millennial Rider, why don't you tell us how people can find us at the community show?
I'm surprised that you prompted that on your own, Mark. That was very big of you. Even maybe we need to get you liquored up a few more times.
Okay, dumbass, just tell us where people can find us.
The last podcast, you called me a douchebag. Now I'm a dumbass. What do you think comes next, TJ?
You graduated.
I'm not even going to guess.
Well, if you want to find the content that Mark and this dumbass create on our hunting adventures, you can find us on Instagram at The Community Show. We are also on Facebook at The Community Show. We're also on YouTube at The Community Show. And if you like to type a lot, you can go www.thecommunityshow.tv.
There you go, and I could have never have said that right now.
If you guys knew how many takes it took for us to get through our social media shtick at the end of every single one of our episodes.
No, you're not saying it, Mark. It's at the community show. You need to like pause right before you say at. So you can find us at the community show. So I never get that right. You can find us at the community show. No, Mark, you got to say you can find us at the community show. So I always do that wrong. Can we do that over again, Mark? But can you like pause and then not say at so much? So you can find us at the community show.
That was very good.
Is that better? So it usually takes about six of those. So
6 is an underestimation.
6 is six just on that mistake alone, and then combined with all the other 6 mistakes I make makes 36 takes pretty much, which is about right.
Just about.
It's about.
So no takes on this episode, though, right?
There's
this
is unfiltered.
Right.
This is for adult audiences only.
Absolutely.
This is the Jerry Springer of the community.
It is, absolutely. And I want to preface it by saying that we talked about the bottle of Rough Rider, but it's actually almost pretty empty by now. We got maybe 1 or 2 shots left in this bottle.
Our bottle of Rough Rider is looking pretty rough right now.
And it is 11 o'clock at night. So.
It is 11 o'clock at night. If our field producer had been on his game, this would have we would have had this being done at 9 o'clock, but a little slack in there, a little behind and everything.
I wouldn't say slack.
He forgot some equipment. He forgot some equipment and everything.
I forgot one cord.
We're kind of jerking our gherkin for quite a while, but we got to give him credit.
Well, so okay, if we're gonna be honest here, I forgot one cord one time. When was the last time I forgot something, Mark? And to preface that, what did you forget today? 2 things, 3 things. You didn't have glasses. You didn't have a quiver.
I did have glasses.
And you didn't have your.
I didn't have binoculars, and I did not have binoculars, and I did not have a quiver.
Lest you point out the plank in somebody else's eye while you have a speck in your own, Mark.
Now, see, dumbass, you did it wrong again. I have a log in mine, and you have a speck in yours. I
did it wrong on purpose. Just to work you up.
Just to work me up. Just get me fired up on my Bible verses. Well, this is just a perfect intro to the Drunk Hunter podcast. This is what it's all about. We've killed 3/4 of the bottle of our Rough Rider, and we're here with TJ Downs, and we're scouting for turkeys. We've and for pigs, but we've got a youth turkey hunt. TJ, tell us about who's going to be here, or what kind of person's going to be here, or what are we going to be doing in a few weeks?
Sure. So first, I want to say thanks, Mark, for giving us the opportunity to do this hunt. So what we're doing is inviting a youth down to come and do a late season hunt on basically virgin turkey ground. Mark's ranch, we went out tonight and did some scouting, and man, I don't think I've ever seen birds. Now, obviously I'm a public land hunter. I don't really do much private land hunting, but I've never seen birds act like this. You know, they are very receptive.
Yeah, so. They're receptive, and had you been not the sportsman type, you could have just stuck the gun out the window literally and shot a couple 8, 9, 10-inch longbeards, huh? You
know, I'm pretty sure that Keith was here earlier scouting with me. I'm pretty sure that we could have gone down to the pond earlier today and just grabbed that one bird by the neck and put him in the truck. So definitely some virgin turkey hunting ground, and we're pretty excited to have a youth come and hunt the property. It's
going to be a great experience for him, and I'm blessed that I get to be here all the time, and I see this. And turkey hunting, while I like to do it, has not been a huge passion of mine, and so it's like for me, it's like, all right, who could I pass this down to that would get that intensity out of it, and who would it really rock their boat, and so that's who we want to get this hunt to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it kind of in terms of hunting, I think that turkey hunting for kids is a great intro to hunting in general. It gets them excited about it. It gets them face to face with the animals. I've done a couple mentor hunts with the youths this season, and just to sit in the blind and see the excitement on their faces and the awe, just to see them, they're shaking. They haven't even lifted their gun yet, and they're shaking because they're so excited about these birds. So I think it's a great introduction to bring kids into the hunting world, is to get them on turkeys. So.
Well, turkey hunting, you really get a lot of all the worlds of hunting. Similar to elk, you get that calling and locating them, and that setup and having that come to you. You have the decoying, like you say, you have the calling aspect. You have the sitting in a pop-up ground blind or up against some brush, and hidden. You have the letting them get close into the decoys. You really have a lot of the aspects of hunting, and a tremendous trophy and great eating. So turkey hunting is really an awesome event that can get someone fired up about hunting.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
One thing you talked about, seeing the turkeys here on the ranch, and I would say this one thing that can seemingly set good hunters apart from, I don't want to say bad hunters, but less successful hunters, a lot of times is the places you get to go, because there's a lot of people that are a lot better than me that might not kill as many animals as me because I may have an opportunity, and likewise I know there's people that kill more animals than me that I don't have, the opportunities to, a lot of it is about the place you hunt.
It is.
And the opportunities that affords. And that's one of the things we're trying to do at the community show is get people, on opportunities that, that they might not otherwise have.
And I think that part of that is that it's a confidence builder, right? Hunting public land, it can be pretty tough in the state of California. There's a lot of people hunting public land, and even where there's areas where there's not a lot of people, such as U.S. Forest Service, which is where I hunt, those animals are a lot more wary due to other issues such as motocross riders or predators in general. So that's challenging hunting. So getting new people involved in, private land hunts, such as on your property, where they have an opportunity to get a little bit easier prey opportunity, I think it's important because it builds that confidence and gives them a learning experience that they can carry forward to that public land in the future. So,
yeah. So talk to us about, you're a big public land hunter. Talk to us about being successful on public land and the learning curve, and the years of being unsuccessful, and how hard it is to finally find out. I don't know what I was doing right or wrong, but talk to us about that.
Yeah. I didn't start turkey hunting in California, well, at all, until about I'm going to guess, because I've been drinking, about 9 years ago. My first experience was pretty successful, and it was on a California wildlife area. I got very lucky and I shot a Jake, which made me feel pretty confident. But then for the next 3 seasons, fall and spring, I didn't shoot a bird. I didn't even see birds, really. I had opportunities, but other hunters would come in and screw up the opportunities, or I'd screw them up myself. So it proved to be very difficult. And what I started learning over the years from public land is that it's really important to get away from where people are, right? If you want to have opportunities with birds, you just have to go where people aren't. So if you're hunting California wildlife areas, those are very, very difficult pieces of property to hunt because they get so much pressure. You have to learn every square inch of those pieces of property in order to find that tiny little section where the birds are hiding and don't expect people to be, to have any success, which to me is kind of like, you have to spend so many days out in the field to find that one little area where turkeys want to be, or where you can call them in from private land to that public land. It's very tough. So that's when I started moving into U.S. Forest Service, where, the birds do have a lot of pressure from mountain lions and bears and coyotes and all the other predators. There's people out there target shooting and motocross, but they don't have the same amount of pressure from hunting, and they can get away from those threats. So as long as you know where they go when they have those threats, it becomes a little bit easier to find those birds. Now, actually shooting one of them is a little bit trickier because of the way they act. They act a lot like elk. They hide, they use the terrain to their advantage, of brush and, dips in the ground and things like that. But I think that was very key to me in starting to become successful, is finding areas where there was less pressure and starting to be able to understand the actual animal that I was hunting, as opposed to trying to fight constantly against other hunters going after the same animals that I was going after.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the BLM ground, it typically here in California goes from private land, then BLM ground seems to be the next lowest ground, and then moves into the Forest Service ground. Is that a decent generalization? It is.
There's definitely pieces of BLM in the same areas as some of the Forest Service, but BLM is kind of tricky in California because a lot of it is landlocked. You don't have access via roads. It's, locked by private land, so you don't have access. Some of the land that is accessible is just not good hunting ground. It's very thick manzanita and, it's a very steep terrain. It's just not very hunting friendly. So, I think that as a general rule, the higher up you go in elevation, you're going to be in U.S. Forest Service, but as you get down towards the foothills and the valley, you're definitely going to be in the BLM and California wildlife areas.
Up to what elevation have you come across turkeys here in California? And then I would say this is kind of east of the central San Joaquin, Sacramento Valley. It may not be true up in the far north parts of California, but just for this area, how high up can you go and find turkeys?
Personally, I've found turkeys at 5,000 feet.
You have?
Yeah. So I've heard other hunters that I trust seeing them as high as 7,000 feet. Now, me personally, I'm not going to go to 7,000 feet and try to find turkeys right now, because that seems like a lot of extra work that I don't have to do. But I know guys that kill turkeys in the snow at 7,000 feet.
Really?
Absolutely. So it's the key thing about turkeys in Forest Service, in the forest in general, is that they're going to be spread out and in microclimates. So they find areas that are good habitat for them and stick to those areas and don't really spread out.
Spread out much past that. So there's lots and lots of dead area and then a honey hole.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the way it works for me. So we've got about a 50-mile stretch that we hunt And in that 50-mile stretch, we have 10, 12 spots that we have birds, and we have to be kind of, cautious about how many birds we take out of each spot because, they are so spread out and there's not tons of birds in those areas.
Yeah. So we're about halfway through the season here in California. I guess that's about fair to say. We're about halfway through. And you've killed your 3 turkeys, and you've helped assorted other people get theirs, and those have all been on have all been on public land.
100% public land.
100% public land.
Yeah.
That's a great achievement, and last year you're successful too. I think I'm trying to remember. It was last year or before you had some pictures, some jakes you got, and this year you got more, and you're upgrading your game all the time. I mean, you got more. Yeah. You're letting some walk, and you're getting but that's due to a lot of your leg work and just finding more opportunities. So now you don't have to take the first thing that you. I think get a crack at.
Part of it too is that I'm getting more patient because I want my season to last longer. Mm-hmm. Mark, you're not drinking your bourbon.
All right, while you're talking, I'll go get some ice.
So it used to be that I would take 1 or 2 birds per season. Now I'm taking 3 birds a season consistently. Last year it was 2 jakes and a tom. My season lasted like 3 days. So that was kind of quick for me. I was not satisfied with having only a 3-day turkey season. So although I love jakes, they taste good. They make excellent table fare. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Rare hates this noise on camera.
Jakes are not a... Perfect.
I'm about to go insane.
Do you need some more bourbon?
I might.
Yes,
a lot
I think
more.
You do.
See, that's a soothing noise, Mark. There's a thing nowadays. There's a thing nowadays called ASMR. Have you heard of it? Apparently, certain sounds and certain tones of speaking can make people feel like almost
for instance, your voice constantly puts me to sleep.
Exactly. That's exactly
okay. So I guess I knew exactly what you were about to say.
Yeah. So if you ever wonder why Mark looks so sleepy during one of the videos,
tell me Ryer's voice just doesn't want to make you nod off. I mean, how do we make it to Wyoming and Colorado without me just driving off the side of the road? I listen to him drone on. At first, I thought a drone was something that you fly over and took videos with. Now I discovered it's really just the sound of Ryer's voice going on and on.
That's why they named them drones, because they sound the same as Ryer's voice.
As we drive down Highway 80, I get 10 hours of drone.
No.
Surprisingly enough, he gets reprieve because I'm an excellent car napper.
Okay, so getting back to the turkey story.
But that's what the Drunk Hunter podcast is all about.
That was really the transition for me is the fast.
I just want you guys to know that you left me like 1 sip.
Oh yeah, I just wanted you to have a taste. I'm not going to give you.
You're a millennial. That's about what you can handle.
There is some Johnny Walker up there.
Yeah.
So, there's like 1 shot left in there, so you're good.
I'm going to go get some. Don't peak the audio levels while I'm gone.
Okay.
Right.
We promise not to do that.
We will drone on. We will drone on without you.
So yeah, the challenge of jakes for an experienced hunter, which I think that I can say that I'm starting to become an experienced turkey hunter. Jakes are just not that challenging anymore. Mm-hmm. So to make my season last longer and to feel like I'm being challenged, which I enjoy. That's part of the reason I hunt is going after toms. So this season I took 2 toms and did take a jake.
Uh-huh.
So
well, regardless, I try to get this through to people, and some people it resonates with, some people it doesn't. But a lot of it to me is what makes you excited. In other words, when I go back east, I try to go back east and hadn't been back there in a while, but whitetail hunting, and a garden variety 6-point or 8-point, 8-point walks in front of me, and he's cruising along there, and my heart, getting ready. I don't have any ground shrinkage or remorse if that's a deer I decide to take.
Sure.
I just remember the excitement that I felt when he was coming. Now, as your excitement maybe starts to fade on some of those, and you see him and you go, oh, neat, but he doesn't, blow my socks off anymore. Then maybe you move on, but when these, the hunting's an individual thing, and despite the fact that there's a lot of shaming that goes on for taking you only shot 140-inch whitetail, why didn't you let him walk? Right. You got to let these things walk if we're going to kill these, great bucks, or, why'd you shoot? It's,
it's personal choice.
The personal choice. What's that middle political party?
The Libertarians?
The Libertarian, and
what is Aleppo?
Yeah, what is Aleppo?
Hey, I'm a Libertarian, just so you guys know up front.
I'm pretty Libertarian myself too, and
I'm not. I don't wear a tinfoil hat.
I keep forgetting my party,
right? Yeah.
Especially after half a bottle of.
So is Gary Johnson.
Rough Rider, I know. We should move on right to him after this, but. It's the Libertarian in me says, if that that's your tag, and that deer walks in front of you, and if he fires you up, the biggest thing I hate to see is, well, he wasn't the biggest buck on the mountain, or I guess I had to end up filling my freezer with this bull or something like,
right.
Talking down the animals that they've taken. And gosh darn, they were a beautiful wild animal that got you evidently excited a little bit enough to pull the trigger or punch or release or something, and to talk these animals down after the fact is a shame. And I've seen some people with some pretty nice 6-point bulls almost feeling like they got I don't think he scored that well. I think he was only 290 inches, so it's like, gosh darn, be proud of the animal you shot. And there's a lot of people that are foaming at the mouth to get that animal that you got.
And I tagged myself the serial Jake killer. Why? Because from a conservation perspective, it doesn't matter whether you shoot Jakes or Toms, right? Mm-hmm. It's the challenge, really. That's why guys like to shoot Toms over Jakes, because Jakes are pretty easy to call in, and there's just not much of a challenge to them, whereas Toms are a lot more of a challenge. From my perspective, they're a lot better eating. I don't have any real remorse in shooting Jakes over Toms. I don't. But, I think it comes down to that personal choice. It's, do you feel comfortable shooting a 2x2? Great. If you do, that's fine. I don't have any real problem with it, as long as you understand the implications from a conservation perspective and you're making an informed decision based, I don't have any problems with it at all. We're all hunters, right? We can't judge another hunter for what they do. So I assume that you know what you're doing when you shoot a 2x2.
Right. Yeah. So Gary Johnson.
Wow, that was a smooth segue.
Yeah, that's you just mentioned
incredible.
I just think about forget about the politics of what's going on right now.
Pass me that joint while you're talking.
Right now. He climbed Mount Everest. I think it was around, yeah.
Did he? How far?
He did. I think he got the way.
That's what I wondered.
Here's the sound you're looking for.
Mark has made that sound probably in 3 different podcasts. Probably his favorite sound to make.
It didn't sound right though. You gotta have the bubble effect with the
climbed
carb.
Everest. He's done a lot of cool stuff, and I was really hoping for the Libertarian Party last year, just because I was I don't want to say I hated the other candidates, but I was displeased that a majority of the population could only come up with those 2 choices. I'm going to say that. And
we need the Hillary couldn't laugh soundbite.
But when they asked him about Aleppo, what is Aleppo? It's like, oh my God. I mean, I am not a world scholar. Geology is not my strong suit. Geology, never mind. Crickets. But even I know just a little bit about Aleppo, Syria. Kind of hotbed of the crisis of what's going on out there, and people trying to get the heck out of there. And it's like, all right, so Gary, I know you're not about this interventionist and stuff, but if you don't even know where in the hell the hotbed of this thing, and you're supposed to be representing the whole party, it's kind of hard to take.
Do you think he was stoned during that interview, though?
Maybe sparked up a fat one beforehand or something.
I've had those moments, and not that I was stoned, but I've had those moments where somebody said something to me, and I'm like, huh? And it felt stupid afterwards because somebody asked me a question that I actually did know the answer to. So
well, that could be, and of course, I don't know. It's just a.
So here's what I will say on the whole political topic. I do say I'm a libertarian because there's some basic principles from the Libertarian Party that I believe in. Right, like I don't care what you do with your life. That's your business. I don't really care. Freedom to do whatever the hell you please because I want the freedom to do whatever the hell I please. Now that being said, I think that a certain party has forced some of us middle ground people to, in the next election, particularly me, and I've heard this expressed from some of my friends who are middle ground as well, to vote completely right ticket. Like, I will not be voting libertarian at all anymore because I believe that I have to fight for those rights, my gun rights. People have made it clear that, the Second Amendment to them is a joke, and I don't believe that, right? So to keep those rights, I have to vote completely opposite of what they want. I can no longer throw away that vote like I did in 2016. So it's it's tough when you feel like you don't have a home. There and I think there's quite a number of people, but most people, and I probably jumped shipped on that earlier than than you did. I wanted to be libertarian, but I voted for Trump. Mostly because I didn't want to see Hillary. And although here in California, it's kind of just a protest vote. It doesn't matter. Hillary's going to win anyways. But in other states, it did matter. And unfortunately, there's I don't know if there ever will be a home for some of us. Where we feel that you've got your vote isn't thrown away. You know? Yeah, and I think it's unfortunate because there's a lot of us out there, but what can you do?
Go turkey hunting.
Go turkey hunting.
Go turkey hunting. So we're going to get some kids up here. Now we'll segue back to turkey hunting.
Sweet.
But just as a drunk hunt podcast can go. And
thanks, Mar.
We need more stories. We need more hunting stories.
So let me tell you about my opening weekend.
Yeah. So you were going to ask me. You were going to.
Actually, the junior opener, I brought a couple of friends out and their kids. I don't have my turkey calls here. Sorry, I'm a loser. So I brought my friend Matt and Keith and their boys out. They didn't know each other, but I wanted to bring them both out anyway because their boys are both the same age that play baseball. How they don't know each other, I have no idea. But brought them out this little property that I know, public land, and did a little bit of scouting the night before. Knew where the birds were set up, but couldn't really get close to them because of visibility reasons. So had a really poor setup in the morning, and I knew the birds weren't going to come to us, but I tried it anyway, and they didn't. We had one bird come around, but he kind of, two 12-year-old boys getting excited about turkeys. They kind of heard us and got a little spooked. But so it was great. I about 8 o'clock, I got up and said, hey, we're going to go this way, and we're going to try to loop around to where the birds are at and push them towards you guys, the other Matt and his son. And, you know, if we see something, we'll shoot it. And
The Great American Turkey Drive of
right,
2018.
that's pretty much what it was. It was kind of like, I got no better ideas, so
Right.
we're going to do this.
Try something.
So I said, Matt, you and your boy go over here and set up right over in that spot, and we're going to go all the way around and try to chase them towards you. So we got about halfway around, and we heard shotguns. And I was like, nobody else hunting out here, so it's got to be them. So we hightailed it back there, and Matt and his boy, he got his first turkey, and it was a bigger gobbler than I'd ever shot on that property
Really?
ever. Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, holy crap, this is a big bird. So matter of fact, I'll pull it up while we're talking so you can kind of see this bird. But
We'll make sure the millennial has a picture of this turkey
Right.
posted later.
so Ryan, who's the other boy,
That's the name of my producer, Ryan.
Ryan, yes. Thanks, Ryan. We really appreciate all your technical help today. So anyway, Ryan didn't really have any opportunities that day, so he didn't get his bird, but he did get to partake in seeing that other bird taken, and they had a close call. But so that was kind of the opening junior weekend, which is kind of cool to finally get a kid
Yeah.
his bird.
Now, of course, the classic turkey setup is we're there and we're either in a ground blind or we're in some cover or something, and we're calling and we've got our decoy out, and it comes in and it's strutting 15 or 20 yards away, and we shoot it with our shotgun or our bow. That's the classic way. Do you feel any gypped if all of a sudden you have to run and gun, say it goes over the hill or something, you go, all right, I'm going to sneak over and pop over and shoot it? Do you feel any gypped on that, like it wasn't a quote unquote legitimate turkey? Here, I got to pause and look at this turkey here.
So that was Luke's turkey
Wow.
on junior
Yeah,
weekend.
Look at that sucker.
Pretty nice bird.
That's a beautiful bird.
Yeah.
So if that happens to you and you have to run and gun one or spot and stalk one or do something that's unclassic, do you feel less than or gypped or anything like that? Or do you go, hey, turkey down's a turkey down?
Turkey down is a turkey down. You know, I'm the kind of guy, you put in the work, right? You put in the work. If that turkey dies, he's in your freezer. And I'm a meat hunter. Beards, I love long beards, but what it really comes down to is the turkey cutlets and the drumsticks in my beans. That's what it really comes down to for me. And if I have to shoot that turkey on the wing, if I have to shoot him on the run, if I have to shoot him twice, which I don't ever do, but if I had to, I wouldn't feel bad about it, you know. And that's, I think that's, you know, there's definitely something to be said for calling in a turkey to you and getting that single shot headshot. There's definitely something for that, but you know,
If that's not the way it happens, that's all right with you.
no, and you know, that was my hunt last Tuesday is, you know, I hunted those birds and hard for 6 hours and finally got tired of it and heard them up by my truck and ran up to the truck and saw the birds 100 yards away and ran towards them. They froze, and I shot that bird from 30 yards away on the run in the back. And he was a nice tom with an 8-inch beard. I have no shame in that at all. I worked hard for that bird, and I deserved that bird. So,
well, people used to ask me when I was young and I'd hunting ducks, and they'd go, "Well, if they land in your decoys, do you like flush them up and shoot them?" And I go, heck no. If I'm good enough to get them to land in the decoys, you know, if I'm that skilled where I can get them to come in and land in the decoys, I damn sure am going to take advantage of it and shoot that sucker on the water. I got no problem with that. So,
yeah. I mean, people talk about sluicing and all that, and you know, I have mixed feelings about it. But what it really comes down to for me is, you know, I'm there to put meat in my freezer. You know, and
you're there to enjoy the experience.
Yeah,
and again, we're back
absolutely.
to the libertarian, which I remembered the name of this time. Libertarian, where libertarian. If you want to, you know, if that's what blows your camo up, you know, then
yeah. And I don't blame the guys who will pass on the shots, who will, you know, look down on. That's their thing. You know, I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
So it's.
So what else we
Make your
got?
personal choice.
I know earlier we were talking about, you said, remind me of that, or maybe it was just a
Yeah, so we were talking about the deer hunting where you were talking about setting up for your elk hunts.
And just loitering and being in the right area. And
you were
waiting
talking
for
about
shit.
just standing
Hey,
around
remember
in the
that
woods.
Facebook post we made, Mark, after one of the Sacramento shows where they had the no loitering sign and you loitered in front of it, and you made me take a picture of you loitering in front of the no loitering sign.
Right, and I said, sometimes I feel like I just don't belong here.
I've had this similar picture in San Francisco, actually. So, yeah, I think that's what Mark was saying, is that he just goes out in the woods and hangs around and hopes deer walk past him, or elk.
Yeah, we just loiter with trees.
Yeah.
We loiter with trees, but it's strategic loitering. I mean, you got to find the right place.
So here's what I wanted to get from you.
So you got to find the right place to loiter, because we also loitered this year elk hunting. We loitered in, well, for about 4 or 5 days, morning and evening. So 8 or 10 different setups. We loitered in spots that didn't have them. And until we started loitering in the right country, we were going home empty. But
so when you loiter, here's my thing: is I'm a loiterer too. Is that a proper word? Is loiterer?
I think loiterer would be a person
it's hard
who
to
loiters.
say when you've had a couple drinks. So
Loiterer.
Loiterand.
Yeah. Loiterer.
Loiterand.
So when you become a loiterer in the woods, do you do any loitering scouting? Like, do you look at Google Maps and go, "That's a perfect spot to loiter"?
Yeah. So a lot of times I'll look at improving my loitering spots. So I carry a paper map with me.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I do it. Mytopo.com and
Wait. He's from like 1876 or something, right?
Yeah.
He also has a monocle,
Which is hard when
which
you
he
lose your
loses.
glasses all the time. But anyway, so I carry this paper map with me, which I dearly love paper maps. I don't like going, open your fingers, close your fingers, push this.
They still make these paper maps, or is this one from like?
They still make these paper maps.
He draws them himself. He actually puts it on the computer screen and traces it.
I trace it. It's hard to. It takes skill to do topo
impressive.
lines with every 40 feet, and doing your lines right and everything. But I do it. So I'll do that. I'll get to a spot and I'll go, okay. Well, before I even start out, I'll look. I go, okay, that looks like this stream. If I walk up the main stream for a mile, and then I walk up this little feeder stream for 3/4 of a mile, it looks like it ends up there. Let's go try up there. And so I'll go up there and look at the conditions and go, all right, look at the sign, look at the tracks, crap, everything, wallowing, what's going on, sit, loiter, look, take a nap, whatever, grab something to eat and sit there and look around, and then bust out the map, the paper map, and look at the glasses.
If you can find them, right?
If I can find them, and find the next highest, farthest loitering spot. So maybe 3/4 of a mile up the hill. All right, there's another stream that looks like it might end up there. Let's go up to there. Boom, boom, boom. All right, go up there, loiter a bit, and all right, same thing, and go. All right, it looks like there's a bench or a saddle between two spots here. Let's go there. Go over there and sit. And there was a couple times this year. One time we went up and so now let's stop here, and we took off everything and sat down and we're having lunch, and a bull and his cow started moving their way right towards us, and they veered off sometime at the last minute, but just because of loitering in the right area, they were just about in our lap, and when we did kill one, we got up to a spot and we were loitering. And we heard some bugling down below us, and we moved down there, and they shut up. So I said, let's just sit here and loiter, and actually took off my coat and took off my release and grabbed some food and started eating. And Ryer put down the camera, and he was eating, and I blew the call with a mouthful of granola or candy or whatever it was. And all of a sudden up on the hill, we heard crap breaking and everything. And I'm grabbing my release and my bow and an arrow, and Ryer's grabbing the camera. And before you know it, this cow comes by and this bull's in our lap, and 30 seconds later, there's a dead bull on the ground. So, a lot of good things happen when you loiter.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. How much of your loitering scouting is intuition, straight up intuition? Like you're looking at Google Earth or you're looking at an area while you're driving around and going, that is the spot, right? Like when I'm out, like tonight, Keith Swope and I were out scouting for turkeys. And I said, we drove down to the pole barn and we're like not hearing anything. And I'm on the way back. Are you empty?
No.
Okay. We're on the way back and I said, let's stop right here because this is a turkey. There's a turkey in here, right? Just total intuition. I know nothing about this piece of property. It's dark. I'm just like looking at the terrain and I'm like, there's turkeys in here. So we stop, throws out a coyote call, instant gobble back. And he's like, that was a good guess. Right? Like, so this happens pretty frequently to me. Like it's intuition, like this is a good spot. And I'm wondering how often this happens to you where the intuition is worth more than the actual scouting.
Yeah, I would say it's an educated intuition.
Right.
It's an educated intuition. So, whether I'm looking at a map or coming on a spot, if it's an elk spot, the tracks and the use and the wallowing and stuff can be pretty obvious. So you can go, holy crap, this is, sometimes you get to a place and you'll go, this is a spot. About 4 years ago, I killed a nice 6-point on with a do-it-yourself over-the-counter tag in Idaho, and I'd walked about. Well, it was probably only 4 miles from my camp, but it probably took me 7 or 8 miles to walk to get back there by the time I found my way back there. But I found the spot, and it was the same thing. I was, oh man, this is it. And, and I backed down the hill and waited for the wind to get right for the evening hunt and moved up there. And I hadn't hardly even got set up, and this beautiful 6-point comes in and I rode him at 50 yards. So, it was the same thing, but it was just a combination of looking at the map and going, I think that place looks elky, and then getting there and go, yeah, but the elk, some of the elk stuff shows up a lot easier than maybe some of the turkey stuff, because the turkey stuff, depending on the terrain, may not, you may not see the track so well, you may not see the drag marks from their wings, so well. The elk there, they leave, leave big old divots in the ground, and they tear up trees and, and bark and big old wallows and stuff like that. So sometimes it's maybe quicker to see what your intuition has led you to the turkeys. But definitely, I get the feeling, oh man, I think this is going to be the spot. And
what's Ryer got over there? That doesn't look like bourbon to me.
It's a beer.
It looks like a really bad beer too.
I'm not the one who buys the beers up here.
What is it?
Modelo.
That's what I thought.
Modelo
Especial. Did you already drink the Johnny Walker?
My people call it maize.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good on you.
In
then.
California, we call it Wani.
Okay.
We call it Wani Walker.
Wani Walker. Right on.
You guys want one?
No, I'm good, thanks.
No, I'm good. I'm still got some ice tinkling in my glass.
Yes.
Tinkling in my glass, just like Donald Trump's hookers tinkle on the sheets in a Russian bedroom. My ice tinkles in my glass. Matter of fact, it's kind of the same amber.
It's the same color. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
the same amber color.
It probably tastes the same by now too.
Yeah.
A little watered down.
You guys want bread, salad?
Bread or salad?
Bread or salad.
Bread would actually be pretty good at this stage in the bourbon game.
I'll retrieve some.
Boy, bring us some bread.
Bring us some bread.
Let's break bread at. How long has this gone on for?
About an hour. I think.
Really?
I think we're no. We started at almost.
30 minutes.
Yeah, we're
47
minutes.
We're making it dead in 45 minutes. So.
Yep.
So I don't know. You people out there in podcast world, Are you finding this interesting right now?
Right.
Have you long turned this off? Maybe this was a good choice. We should have prefaced this as this is a good choice when you're driving across the Nevada desert and you've just got hours to burn and you're hella bored and you wished you were somewhere else. You wished you were in hunting camp.
And you've already listened to Hank Shaw and Steve Ranella and Donnie Vincent and everybody else.
You've listened to all the good podcasts. You've listened to all the good podcasts. So now you got to listen to something else.
You got to listen to Mark and TJ.
Yeah, you got to listen to Mark and TJ.
Kind of drunk.
At the community show.
I should have picked up another bottle of bourbon.
The community show. Yeah. I didn't think we'd be such overachievers tonight.
I think Ryer was the overachiever.
Ryer took us over the edge.
Yeah.
Way to go, Ryan. Way to go, Ryan.
It's always the ginger swell.
I need to get my microphone back on so I can defend myself.
Yes.
There's no defending himself. Watch, he'll try to defend himself, but he might as well just roll over and urinate on himself like the bitch dog that he is.
I'll turn this camera off. Then where's your podcast?
That's right,
Mark.
The bourbon makes him kind of mean.
He'll have to turn the camera off to pull me off of him.
I have terabytes and terabytes of footage that I could just...
Ouch.
They could just disappear overnight, Mark. How then would you feel?
Well, I'd feel sad, but the rest of the free world might be pretty happy if there was no more Mark Groupie Outdoors to be seen.
So let me ask you this. Do you ever have a challenge when you're out elk hunting or big game hunting to see just how close to the truck you can kill something? Because for me, public land turkey hunting, I mean, literally I have killed a turkey 50 yards from the truck numerous times.
Well, I will say this. Do not overlook some places that are close to the truck just because you feel they're too close to the truck.
Exactly.
And I took a guy out a couple years ago on a over the counter hunt tag in Wyoming, and 20 minutes of easy walking on a trail.
Look at this guy. This is service.
Did he put olive oil
and
in there?
balsamic?
Is there balsamic in there?
Yeah.
I can't see it. I think he did the ratio wrong.
No, it looks right.
Really?
It looks good to me.
I don't know. I think it's a piss poor job myself.
I'm rooting for you, Ryer. Look, he brings out the bottle.
Just tell me when to stop, Mark.
Whoa.
Apparently, Mark is very particular about his portions.
Hooked him.
So anyway, go ahead.
So, anyways, an easy 20-minute walk, literally on a Jeep trail sort of thing, and he got a shot at a nice 5-point bull. I mean, couldn't really ask to getting into a place any easier, and it almost be just a place you just want to walk by or just skip altogether. But a little bit experience before I knew there were some animals in the area, so. Yeah, I don't know about seeing how close I could get to the truck, but not overlooking the spot just because, every once in a while you find a spot that's just not the way people go. Yeah. And that's all this spot was just not the way normally people went. And it was a little pocket, and we got into elk. I think a couple times in this spot, and then it wasn't a very big area. I think we chased them out after a little bit, but we got a shot at a good bull, and hell, if we'd killed one there, it would have been the easiest public land over the counter, one that you could find.
And I think that's something that a lot of people, there's something to be said from getting as far away from people as possible, but at the same time, not overlooking those spots. So, for instance, Sunday I hunted with Kevin Bella, who's the NWTF biologist, and one of his friends, and we shot a bird that was no more than 200 yards from the road. I sat out in the truck and heard the bird fly down while they were in there calling for it and shot it. While they were out there, they heard another 2 birds half a mile away or more. We chased those birds for a mile, and then we drove for 4 more miles to pinpoint it and had to hike another mile into it and killed it. So, that's the contrast. It's, one very easy animal that was roosted next to the road, and then another bird that we had to chase around for quite a while. And I find that frequently. I told you about the deer story earlier, where there was a closed road that was driven pretty frequently, but it happened to be closed that season. And I saw one of the biggest bucks I've ever seen in California in that little area that was a closed road that people just ignored that season.
Yeah. So, if you can find those little honey holes, those spots. Yeah. Now, if you're a real trophy hunter on elk or deer, a lot of times that gets a little bit harder because there's not many. Unfortunately, the price on the head of real trophy animals is high. I mean, there's some of these guides that they have people going out and scouting these animals all summer long and basically paying someone just to stay on some of these animals. You watch this animal, and then they have a very high paying client that comes in and shoots this 200 inch, mule deer or 370 inch, elk or something like that. And, so you get a really big animal and he doesn't end up there overnight. Most of the time, people see them coming along, and it's hard to get that past people. But a lot of people like me or you, if you're on a public land do-it-yourself elk hunt and a decent 5-point or garden variety 6-point walks by you, you're pretty stinking happy with it.
Absolutely.
So especially with your bow. So, those are out there, to be had. You just got to find something that hasn't been, dinked with so much. And this one, like I said, we called him from Buddy. He just ran right into his lap. Yeah. And,
I'd be happy with that with a howitzer, bow, howitzer, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
6x, it's good with me.
So turkey season, you've killed your 3.
Yep.
What are you going to do with the rest of the season, and then what are you going to do till fall?
So I've got a hunt this weekend with a junior that we started the season with who didn't get his bird. I'm taking him out. I'm going to actually put in quite a bit of time this week to try to find a bird that I can roost for him and try to get him actually a bird on the ground. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think my turkey season's, if I can get him a bird, my turkey season's pretty much done. I think I'm going to work on the junior hunt with you. And, I'm big time into foraging. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So morel mushrooms is season right now. And that's really my main focus, that and striper fishing. So.
Okay. Where do you striper fish at?
Sacramento River. So, you
have your own boat, or you just go with
I try to bum rides with as many people as I can,
Professional guest.
Yeah, it's so much cheaper,
Oh, hell yeah. There's nothing better than being a professional guest.
Yeah, I mean, you buy the beer, and they're happy with that. It's like you. I mean, I feed you a bottle of bourbon, you're like, come down on some turkeys.
Yeah, yeah. What's a turkey hunt cost? A bottle of Rough Rider.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, now, fortunately, I have some friends and family that have boats, and I can get out, and I also have some good personal spots on the river that I could just bank fish from. I lived in Natomas for a while and had a couple of spots on the river that I go down every day after work and fish, and I've caught some serious big monsters bank fishing. So
wow,
I have those spots available to me.
Is that where Rush says the stupid people live? Rush Limbaugh? No, that's Rio Linda.
Yeah,
Rio Linda and Natomas.
Well,
it's the same thing.
It's California,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
if you're from Rio Linda,
yeah. Let's not offend our Rio Linda brothers and sisters.
If you're from Rio Linda, please send us hate mail. We need more.
We need more hate mail.
Morgan, if you can hear Mark right now talk about Rio Linda, please send me a Facebook message explaining your feelings on this matter. My friend
Rio
Morgan.
Linda,
my friend
speak
Morgan,
to me.
She is a hunter. And
Carmichael,
she lives
tell
in Rio
us
Linda.
what's going on with you. Citrus Heights, react to me.
Mark's about to do a hot take right now.
Eldorado Hills.
Yeah,
You're trash.
Eldorado Hills, Folsom. What's going on up there?
Cameron Park.
Yeah, Auburn, react to me.
If anybody in any of these areas records a video of them trashing somebody in another area, we will put that on the podcast.
Elk Grove, I want to hear from you.
Yo, West Sac. What's up?
Old Sacramento.
Old Sac. Do you remember Jerry Seinfeld's skit on Old Sac? Oh, he came to Sacramento and had a stand-up com. We'd have to look it up on YouTube, but he's like, Old Sac, what's up with that name? It's like an old man's sack, right? So every time somebody says Old Sac, I think of that. I think of Jerry Seinfeld.
Old Sac.
Yep.
Some people call Mark that.
Old Sac. They called me a sack, all right? God, Groupie, you're just a sack of shit.
I got one in. I got a solid one.
That was
in.
good, Ryer.
That was good.
Ooh, I don't know if I'll be able to sleep tonight over the pounding.
You're going to need about another bottle of bourbon.
The pounding I've taken there.
A 40-minute drive to Mariposa for more bourbon. That's why nobody up here is an alcoholic. You don't want to drive back to Mariposa for more beer, right?
That's right. You just kind of get this 3/4 buzz on, and you go, crap, now I just got to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't officially become a drunk.
I mean, you could literally brew your own alcohol in the time that it takes you to go to Mariposa and get more beer.
We'll have to do that. Oops. There you go.
I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
Yeah, that's right. I just joined this group.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Called it's called DAM. It's an acronym DAM. It's Mothers Against Dyslexia.
Oh God, that was great. That's the best joke I've heard in a while.
Some people have a way with words. Other people not have a way, I guess you'd say. That's a ripoff of Steve Martin.
I think we're almost out of alcohol. I don't know what that means, but
there's more.
He's trying to get us to extend this podcast.
Well, we've got to. We're hitting the stroke of midnight here in California, and we've got to get up in 5 hours and go chase wild swine. So,
you do?
I do. You're supposed to be scouting for the youth of.
Well, we scouted, so we're good.
Oh, so you're good. So you can just sleep in, is what you're saying.
The whole point of scouting today was to kind of get an idea of how many birds you had and the locations they were at. One thing we didn't want to do was invite somebody to come hunt here on your property if we didn't feel like there were enough birds from a conservation perspective. And that was an actual conversation we had today was, how many birds does Mark have? So
do we have enough?
Oh, absolutely. You have an incredible amount of birds here. And I'm actually shocked because if you remember right, when I came here for a really terrible, actually a really good quail hunt a couple of years ago.
It was a good hunt. We just didn't kill a lot.
I couldn't kill anything. I couldn't hit anything.
I think we shot like 3 or 2 or 1 or 4 or something like that.
There were no turkeys here at the time you told me.
Not much. So what was that, about 3 years ago?
I think it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago, probably about, yeah.
Yeah, and now there's an incredible number of turkeys here. I mean, given that we saw, I'm going to guess between 17 and 20 turkeys today, we heard and saw. That means, there's at least 3 times that we didn't hear or see. Yeah. So there's a good population.
And there's some more, like say, and there's a couple other spots that that maybe you can go check out at first light tomorrow. Yep. But you don't have to be out there till what time? Shooting time now? About 6 o'clock.
It's earlier than that, actually.
Someone's got to have an app for that.
Yeah, 6:20 a.m. is sunrise, so 5:50.
Yeah. So we need to be I need to be walking at about 5:30ish tomorrow for where I want to go. So I got to get up about 4:45. I got to get up not very long from now.
Only 5.5 hours.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, it's not a good 5.5 hours because you liquored me up. Oh, you're not going to take advantage of me tonight, are you?
I don't know. We'll see. No promises.
That was a very unconfident answer. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on how I feel.
Probably won't.
We'll see.
You can never tell till you go to
We'll
bed.
see.
And,
I never
where your mind goes
feel how
when you start to go to
frisky
sleep.
I am
You're like,
feeling.
I might feel like, getting up and seeing Mark for a little bit. Or maybe Ryer.
Oh. Now you've
Ryer's
taken it
had
too
more
far.
to drink, so.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm handling it better. I'm still operating cameras. I'm still monitoring audio levels. All these things at the same time.
Yeah, but we're supervising you doing that, so I think we're actually doing a better job.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're actually doing your work because you're being supervised.
Right, exactly.
So what you're saying is this is an OSHA job?
Well,
I like the long pause.
if
I had to think about that one.
if you want to say it's an OSHA job, I don't know, the only hazard is when you're following up the hill and I'm farting on you. That's pretty much the only that's pretty much the only workplace violence you.
Or in a blind. I mean, isn't there some enclosed spaces and amount of breathable oxygen?
There's got to be some hazmat rules.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the teddy bear so you can show me where he touched you in the blind.
That's right. Show me on the teddy bear exactly where he hurt you.
I am a millennial.
The offense is ready to be had.
Yep.
I'm surprised. We
me
haven't.
too.
Have you heard of the Pound Me Too movement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I did not laugh at that. Just for the
You
record.
did. I have it on camera.
No, I was laughing at something I saw on my cell phone.
I don't think so. You picked up your cell phone after you laughed.
So
I'm telepathic.
now, so we'll jump back into politics here, and we got the whole
Segway.
liquidation sale. Sunday.
Monster Truck Rally, one day only.
Big Daddy Don Garlitz, be there.
Or be square.
So, all these people back. I don't know if you, were you. Did you have brain cells functioning when Bill Clinton was president?
More or less, yeah. I mean,
So that administration savaged people that administration savaged women who came out and speak against Bill Clinton, who,
you mean like Monica?
yeah, who had, well, so
Did you see the Monica for president signs?
If the CEO of Walmart,
Me too.
Pound Monica too. If the CEO of Walmart had done to Monica Lewinsky what Bill Clinton did to Monica Lewinsky, I mean, he would have been fired right away. And all the women, Paula Jones, Juanita Brada, all the women that spoke up, said this happened to me, were just completely, their lives were destroyed, their reputations were destroyed.
Sure.
And now all of a sudden, these same people all of a sudden want me to be exercised about relationships that Donald Trump had with. Now, I was not the big Donald Trump fan from the start. Like I said, I voted for the guy because I didn't feel like I had any other. He was the closest choice that represented what I wanted. But God darn, these stinking people that are after him now. I mean, you just have no credibility. You have no credibility when you just blew apart all these women that were going after Bill Clinton. You guys demonized them. You slammed them. You tore their reputations apart. You ate them alive. Well, that sounds kind of good. You destroyed their reputations, and now you want us to get all excised about Donald Trump. You know what? Probably before that, I might have, but you guys lost all your credibility. You guys lost your, you guys lost any cards you had in that hand. You guys lost any credibility. I just can't even listen to it from you guys anymore. You know what you guys have to say. There. And like Forrest Gump says, and that's all I have to say about that.
So here's what I'll tell you about politics.
TJ's going to straighten me out here.
No, I'm not.
Hopefully he's going to fix me.
I am going to fix you. I'm going to teach you
He's going to
how.
fix me like a dog in the pound.
All this
Come
works
fix
is
me.
that you completely ignore media. You ignore social media. Any of your friends that talk about politics, you put them on unfollow. You don't unfriend them. You just put them on unfollow, so you don't have to listen to their bullshit anymore. Excuse my language. You don't go to the websites and listen to the news. You don't turn on the news on the TV because it's all BS. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. Fox News,
Fox,
CNN,
and
BBC. It's all BS, right? So you don't even listen to it anymore. What you do is you go once a week and you check on your favorite news source and you get the basics for what the news currently is. And you're slightly informed, right? Because it doesn't really matter. What's the news today is not going to be news tomorrow, right? The freaking shootings in Parkland, what do you hear about them this week? There's absolutely nothing going on with the shootings, right? Nothing politically, nothing socially, nothing. It's been forgotten. So none of that matters in the scheme of things. What it really comes down to is what matters. What's going to the legislature? What's going to the Senate, right? You got to figure out what these bills are and stay involved in that. If there's worldwide stuff like Syria and all that stuff, stay slightly informed with it, but it doesn't really matter in your everyday scheme of things. I don't pay any attention to this crap anymore. I don't listen to the social media. I don't listen to the news anymore because number one, it's depressing and it's all bullshit. It's just not a good thing to be involved with anymore. That's my opinion on it.
But if you do want to follow social media, then you do want quality social media content.
Go at
Yes.
the community show.
Yes.
Wait, there's not space.
But that's
Wait, go
the
at
good shit,
community.
right? I mean,
There you go, shameless plug. Continue.
What about science and technology? Do you think there's any chance that Donald Trump will send a spaceship to Uranus?
I sure hope so.
Searching for Klingons? Yes, this is
Beam me up, Scotty.
Voyager 4. We have found there are Klingons circling around Uranus.
I've checked out the captain's log, and it's pretty big.
Look at Captain's log, stardate 3424. We have. Damn it, Jim. I'm only a doctor, not a very good elk hunter.
Now I'm going to start to snort.
Yeah.
I've had just enough bourbon to snort now.
Well, we've got to catch that on camera.
I just inhaled some bread. Well, I think that could wind up for our first Drunk Hunters podcast.
I think that's a perfect way to
It's
close.
a perfect ending spot is Uranus.
The captain's
There's no-
log.
We'll end with the captain's log in Uranus. And
we've hit a pivotal point in the Mark Ruby Outdoors podcast
Pivotal
history.
point. So
because
tell-
now
toilet humor.
now I have to I might have to mark this as explicit.
Yeah.
ooh, that could be.
This is adult content.
So tell
now.
us before we check off. Obviously, they know how to find us here, Millennial, because they wouldn't be here if they weren't here. But tell us.
You never know. You know
Tell-
what, Mark?
tell-
How many
tell-
times do you stumble upon
Are we
something
on
and not even?
Are you guys on Snapchat yet?
I am, but Mark's not.
No.
Oh, Mark Groupie is not on Snapchat.
No.
I can't keep track.
Wait, what's after
I
Snapchat,
can't even
though?
figure Instagram out.
The Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat's like so 2000. What?
Okay, so
16.
My kids
Here's
are on
the scoop.
My kids are on
Here's the
Snapchat.
scoop.
Yeah.
About a month ago, Snapchat made an update, and they screwed it all up, and now Snapchat's terrible.
Right.
So nobody's on Snapchat anymore. Everybody's on the Instagram stories.
Wait, Instagram is so like 2014.
No, Instagram is now.
Instagram
it was
stories.
like what?
Instagram is more
Instagram
relevant
stories.
than Facebook, in my opinion.
But
They started a new one. They started a porn social media one. It's called "Sit on My Facebook."
That's not the first time he's told that joke. I'm immune now.
I think it's over the. It is over the air though. It is over the airwaves.
Wait, Mark.
Yes.
We can't have the first Drunk Hunting podcast without. There's a very particular skull up right above you there that every time you have somebody come up here, you tell a very particular story. I've heard it at least 69 times.
I have not heard it
69.
once.
At least 69 times.
69. Why did you say the word 69?
Because it's what he's dreaming of tonight.
It's what he's dreaming of. It's like
I'm a millennial.
speed limit in sex is 68. 1 more mile an hour and you eat it.
That joke is as old as you, Mark.
All right. Well, I did not even bring up this pig yet.
Bring it down.
see
You're
the
on
pig
camera.
head?
Yeah, bring it down. You're on camera.
I did not even bring this up. So he always talking about. You always got to tell the story about this pig head.
Is it spray painted?
Huh?
Is it
No,
spray painted?
It was just bleached and.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I was ever.
Somebody coated it
I don't
with
think
vanilla
I was
icing.
that was ever ambitious enough to paint it.
You have to point it the other way, Mark, towards the camera.
There you go. Okay, you've seen it.
Does it have a name?
No,
Okay.
the pig of death.
The pig of death.
The pig of death.
It's just like the other
So
six
I
up there.
had I had some dogs. I had a couple walkers and a plot hound, and I had some friends quail hunting, and we turned the dogs loose. Well, I turned the dogs loose while they were quail hunting, and
He always tells a story. Don't let him fool you.
I never bring it up.
This is his favorite story.
It is not my favorite story.
your favorite
You always
story.
make me bring it up.
Because it's your favorite
See,
story. I'm
everyone
helping
here
you.
will witness. Everyone here, the thousands of people that are listening to this, witness that I did not even bring this up. There you go. The pig's hungry. There you go. Right now, TJ is inserting something in his mouth. Oh, it's a loaf of bread. It's not the
Sourdough.
captain's log.
Delicious sourdough.
Delicious sourdough. So I turned these 3 dogs I have loose. My friends are quail hunting. I'm just standing around doing nothing. And they start barking like they got something bait up. So I go, I better go see what it is. So I drive down a couple hundred yards closer. I get out, and there's no barking anymore. Just a couple random barks. And I walk down there and I look and I see one of the dogs just kind of walking around, just kind of randomly barking. I go, what the hell's wrong with you? And I see a pig stand up in the brush, and it looks like a sow with an infected tit. And I go,
I've seen those before.
I go,
Not
yeah,
usually in the
yeah.
brush.
yeah, I'm not talking about your bar days, TJ.
Here we go, Drunk Hunting Podcast. Mark says
Take
tit.
one.
Audience erupts
Yeah.
in laughter.
A breast, mammary gland.
Ooh.
The sow with an
yeah.
infected mammary gland stands
Oh,
up.
yes.
Insert porn music. Doom, tick, doom, tick, doom. And
I feel bad for you. And that's the kind of porn music you have to deal with. That's terrible.
It's like
I didn't watch porn.
It's like MIDI music
I don't need
from
porn.
the
I
70s.
have a hot wife. I don't need porn. So we see this pig. I see this pig, and I kind of double back, and I grab the one dog that's barking, and I find another one, and she's got blood all over her side, and so I take him and I put him in the car, and my buddy shows up, and he goes, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I'm still missing one dog. And I think, I'm eating a piece of bread here. They had
Is that what you said to him?
Yeah, I told my buddy, I'm eating some bread here. Wait. So I went down and
See, now we're getting the drug
I
part of
said,
the podcast.
there's a hog down here, and it may have hurt one of my other dogs. Let's go down here, see if we can find the dog or whatever. So we start walking away, and I said, just bring the rifle, and you can cover me in case we see something down there. And we start walking. We get about 20 yards away from the car, and I said, I'm going to bring the shotgun. So I grabbed the shotgun. I got some low base 8s in it, And so we start going down there, and we get down about in the area. I'm looking for the dog. You know, here, Clyde. All of a sudden, out of the brush, here comes this pig right from the area. This pig is just boiling at me, and he's coming full throttle. And he's about 20 yards away. And it's funny, everything goes in your mind real quick. Well, I could shoot him right now, and he might deflect. He might turn off. I don't know. If the gun jams, I don't know. I think I've got one good shot. I'm just going to let him come. And so he's coming at me. Meanwhile, in all this time, he's closed the distance down to nothing. And he's about 2 yards from me, and I tap in between the eyes. My buddy is up there. He can't find the safety on the gun and with the rifle. And so I shoot him with the shotgun, and I hit him right between the eyes at about 2 yards away, and he rolls over literally at my feet. And we'll post pictures later. We got the skull, and he's got a hole right between his eyes where that 20 gauge, where that load of 8 shot dented his skull. Anyway, he's there flopping on the ground, and I grabbed the rifle and put one more in for him. Found the other dog. He actually had killed the other dog, and it wasn't. It wasn't a sow with an infected mammary gland. It was just a boar standing in the brush there, and he was all pissed off. And he probably hadn't ran from a predator in years. And so when my dogs came down, he maimed one and killed the other, and was going to do the same for me. But anyways, that's the story of that guy.
So when you say low base 8s, they were like.
Low base.
What are low base 8s?
Don't come any closer to me. I will hit you 8 times. Just some coil loads.
Okay.
Just some coil
I've
loads.
never heard that terminology before, low base.
You haven't heard really?
No.
Well, maybe that was a function of things when growing up in the 70s or something. We called it low bass. And actually, before that, people called them low brass, but it's the brass on them, shorter.
I've heard low brass, yeah.
Yeah. So
never heard low bass.
Low bass 8s.
I thought it was like a ghetto thing.
That's not a ghetto thing.
That's not a ghetto thing.
It is now.
It is now. It is the groupie ghetto thing.
Way to turn it racist, TJ.
Absolutely. Speaking of racist,
I want my bread back.
Take my bread back from the pig.
So I'm white bread.
So anyways, Millennial Ryer. This where else can they find us on the World Wide Web?
Well,
Google
at the Community Show.
Where though? You can't just type in at the Community Show.
Well, you probably could.
If you just type Mark Groupie on Google, right?
You could type Mark Groupie on Google. You could type Mark Groupie Outdoors on Google. You can type Mark Groupie the Community Shore, the Dinosaur Show.
The Community Shore. It's like Jersey Shore, but with Mark Groupie.
But with Mark Groupie, with nobody watching. It's just like Jersey Shore, but with no audience. So
it's all the reality, but none of the hype.
It's all the reality with none of the ratings. So come check us out.
We are on the Gram, which people who are on the Gram will know what the Gram is.
It's kind of like Snapchat, but newer.
It's the Instagram.
Oh, but it's like Snapchat, but newer, right?
I think Snapchat. No, Instagram was before Snapchat, but
Snatch Chat.
Snatch Chat, yes.
So originally Snapchat was invented for that. That was the original use for Snapchat was sexting.
But now it's for what?
Also
Nothing.
sexting.
Nothing, because nobody
That's for
uses
sexting and everything.
Now it's for. It's the same. Yeah.
Thanks, Ryer.
Anyways, you can find us at the Community Show, and we are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on. Are we on the Tinder?
You know, I haven't put you on Tinder yet, Mark.
I put me on Tinder. So don't find us on Tinder. Find us on Facebook.
What
find
about
us
the
on
Twitters?
Instagram at the Community Show.
We're not on Twitter.
We're not Twitter. I can't figure out how to tweet.
Are you guys on YouTube at least?
Yes, we're on YouTube. You can
Okay.
find us on.
We have a large presence on YouTube.
We have a large presence. Our video,
Really? How
our
large?
videos have our
At
video,
least dozens of views.
we have like 30 videos that have upwards
Are you
of
guys
like
like this
12.
big on YouTube, or are you like this big
we're
on
this
YouTube?
big. We're
This big?
this big.
We're
no,
at least 8 inches.
we're not
Oh, okay.
this.
Going deep.
At least 8 inches. We're 8 inches deep on YouTube.
We have at least dozens of fans.
Okay.
We have dozens of fans. We have tens of subscribers.
Tens of subscribers.
We have tens of subscribers.
I'm okay with
So,
So for all our subscribers, we want you to comment. What do we want them to comment on this video?
that.
don't know.
Anything that they want.
We need them to respond
should
to this
we
video.
give away a pig hunt to anyone that has actually lasted as long as the end of this show?
That's a feat of endurance for sure.
That's a feat of endurance.
Anybody who's listened to me for more than 5 minutes deserves a pig hunt.
So let's see. We'll take someone on an overnight pig hunt if they have made it to the end of this show.
But we're not going to guarantee what does or does not happen in the overnight part of that pig hunt.
They should know that by now.
They should know that by now.
So how do we
Otherwise,
know?
they would not be listening to the Drunk Podcast at Mark Ruby Outdoors / the
They need-
Drunk
What
Hunters podcast.
Is this podcast still called the Mark Ruby Outdoors, the podcast, or is this called the community show?
It's the Mark Ruby Outdoors podcast, and
Talking about the
This
community.
is yes, because Mark Ruby Outdoors produces the community show.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a highly professional, highly trained staff here that we've got going on. So
So they're
highly
talking about
trained
me.
guests.
with highly
highly
trained guests. So you can find us here at all those spots we've mentioned. We thank you very much for listening. We're going to go out. We're going to try to get a pig tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get some pictures posted up of something that we've got. Our eyes might be a little bit cross-eyed. Some of us more than others.
Whoa, low blow.
Oh, little blow.
Low blow.
Some of
For those of you who don't know, the field producer Ryer has a cross eye. So now you know.
Sometimes
And when they say low blow, they mean he's on his knees.
I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous because sometimes I feel he's seeing somebody else. Anyways, hopefully we'll have a photo of a pig tomorrow. Certainly we'll
On
have
a scale
some,
of 1 to 10, how do you guys think this went? This is the first
Oh,
time
at
we've tried
least a
this.
3.
I was going to say 4, a solid 4.
Wow.
I think if we'd started this earlier, Ryer, if you'd had your shit together and we started this at 9 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock, I would have given her probably 9 or 10. But instead,
I think if we would have had another bottle of bourbon, it would have at least
if we
gone
had
to a 6.
if we had another bottle of bourbon,
Yeah.
if Ryer had the right equipment and we had started at 9 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock, I think this probably would have been a pretty good, damn good achievement.
I blame it all on Ryer.
It's clear.
He didn't bring enough bourbon,
That's
obviously,
clear.
because he didn't bring
He
any.
didn't bring enough bourbon. He didn't bring enough. He didn't bring the right equipment, and you didn't get started early enough.
Yep.
So clearly, TJ,
Friggin' millennials.
If it had been up to you and me, this thing would have been a
The
hit.
friggin' millennials do not know anything about drunken podcasts.
Instead,
Hey, next time, Mark, I'll let you set it up.
this may be the last episode of Mark Ruby Outdoors, the podcast.
All right, find us at The Community Show on Facebook and Instagram
And the
and
Twitters.
Facebook. And if you add a www to the front and a .tv to the end, that's our website. We're not on Twitter, so don't go there.
Go to Twitter.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do it.
We thank you very much for listening. We thank you very much, TJ Downs, for chiming in with us and having
Thanks,
a little
guys.
humor with us. And we seriously hope that you follow some of the stuff on the NWTF. NWTF.
The National Wild Turkey Federation, yes.
National
the
Wild-
NWTF. So NWTFCalifornia.com.
There you go. So you guys heard that. Follow that because that's some of what we're really hoping to promote here. And we are going to get a young hunter up and seriously have a good time with him and hopefully show him some great birds and a great time, an overnight trip, and something hopefully that he'll remember that no matter how old he gets, he'll never be able to upgrade because it's going to be a great trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for listening. And we will see you next time at Mark Ruppy Outdoors, the community, the podcast.
Not on Twitter.
Not on Twitter. On Twitter. Not on Twitter. Stardate 2434. Captain's log. On Snapchat. we, the people of the United States, in order to perform a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator by certain inalienable rights. Among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
But not on Twitter.
But not on Twitter.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
Thanks, guys.